when I'm here, I was struck by, the first time I was here, I was struck by the sort of integration of different cultures and kind of strata of history and art traditions that exist here. A lot of it incorporates the French and Belgian traditions, but then there's a variety of other traditions in here. And the Tunisian artists were very, proud of their of doing the books in like their Tunisian dialect, and talking about the events here that are local and important to them. The ones that I had the most of and that I was introduced to the most is a series of books called Lab 619. So it's kind of like a collective of a variety of different creators, writers and artists. And this book is interesting because it's a sort of anthology that spotlights, gives space to different creators to show their work. So that's a great question. Really, I think this very specific essence of comics that probably sets them apart from a lot of other media is the inherent nature of, you have one image and it's just an image, but if you have another image, even if it's slightly different, when you put them together, there's no movement in between, but once the reader looks at it, the human mind is programmed to naturally construct a narrative if you see two things. There's no actual physical movement between the images. They're two static images, but the movement happens in the viewer's mind. It's a natural way our minds are hardwired. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it translates to your mind in a way that you don't even have to. It translates past culture, but it also translates past like a kind of like reasoning or anything. It sort of like automatically downloads just into the primal part of your brain that is making sense of reality. And so the interesting thing about comics is you want to choose just the right image in this panel and just the right image in this panel to make the viewer an active participant. So their mind is an active participant in making the movement, but the movement really is happening inside their head. But that's what I love about comics, is just kind of composing stuff in just the right way to make somebody an active participant in it. I get that like from the other Tunisian artists that have been, like in Lab 619 and in this exhibit. You get the impression that not only are they expressing things that are very personal to them, but they're also kind of tuned into expressing things that are local to them and important to their generation. And I think comics are a great medium for that. Comics are in a way like kind of their own pyramidium in a way. Like, one person in their house can draw whatever they want, and if they want to, they have the potential to reproduce it in a way where it's accessible to a large amount of people, or put it, on the internet and make a webcomic. And so that way, just one person or a group of people can express themselves the way they want to, and still have the possibility to connect potentially on a really wide or even global scale.